Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng fell on the ground of the court, as fresh blood flowed from his forehead. This scene made everybody shudder. That's the family leader. He really doesn't show any mercy. Too strict. The family members all had a blind sense of worship and respect to this legendary being Luo Feng. The entire family started from him. If anyone else in the family was carrying out this trial, and that sparked disagreement, no one would dare even be any bit unsatisfied with Luo Feng carrying out any punishment. They would only think of him as strict. Next, Luo Yuqian. Luo Feng gazed at the next person below. Do you know your crimes? The beautiful Luo Yurong that looked almost like a girl was completely pale. He put his head on the ground and said, Yuqian knows his crimes. Luo Yurong. Luo Feng's gaze landed on a gentle-looking girl that looked exactly like Luo Yuqian beside. Do you know your crimes? Family leader, I. Luo Yurong seemed to want to tear before lowering her head. I do. Luo Feng nodded. He immediately sentenced them, Luo Yurong, for bewitching your older brother Luo Yuqian, you cannot be pardoned, death. After which Luo Feng lifted his finger and shot a gold beam of light. This gold law-infused attack pierced right through her forehead, leaving behind a bloody cavity. Rumble. Luo Yurong fell on the floor, her face still filled with shock, regret, resentment. Little sister. Luo Yuqian immediately stared wide-eyed, his tears flowing. Luo Feng said coldly above, Luo Yuqiang, you pamper and empower your sister, not separating business and family ties. I sentence you to 10,000 years in jail. Large amounts of the members within the court were all shocked. This was because Luo Yuqian's name in the family was actually very well reputed, and they could tell that their crimes were mostly because of his younger sister. Jail for 10,000 years, he was only still at the star level. His lifespan wasn't longer than one era. He would simply die in jail. Unless he could break through to universe level in jail. Otherwise, he would stay in there till he died. Also, without all the resources the Luo family provided, just simply relying on his own capability, it was simply too hard to break through to universe level. Relying on power to massacre, you reek of blood, your crimes are severe, death. Vicious. However, you are still young and haven't done much, jail for 100 years. Evil crimes, death. Jail for 10,000 years. Death. Death. Jail for 100 years. Death. The entire court was tense. Luo Feng gazed coldly at the members below and carried out their sentences one by one. The Virtual Universe Company had intentionally arranged for different levels of crimes within the 21, some heavier, some light, some with lesser information. Luo Feng, however, went according to the detailed information the information department had given him. His sentences were carried out according to the family rules. Luo Feng didn't care about any of the different rules of the universe country. The Luo family had its own rules, some areas extremely strict, some more lax. It was something Luo Feng, Shuxin, Luo Hua and others had worked together to put in place. 20 family members, of which 13 were sentenced to death, 4 were jailed for 10,000 years and 3 for 100 years. One had to know that amongst these 20, only one had become universe level, and he was put to death by Luo Feng. Hence, those that were jailed for 10,000 years, all faced a dilemma. They had to break through to universe level within the jail, or they'd simply grow old and die within. Death. When Luo Feng killed the final member there, the atmosphere in the court had reached an extreme level. In the past, when they held their trials, the death sentences weren't carried out in the court there, and they weren't done by the family leader himself. All of my members listen carefully. Luo Feng's eyes gazed coldly at the surrounding close to 100,000 members in the court, saying coldly, the family rules aren't for you to mess with, even if you think you can get past the family investigation. Do you think you can get past the Virtual Universe Company's information department? The close to 100,000 members all listened intently. Along the path of becoming strong, killing is normal, killing a person in rage is normal. Luo Feng said coldly, and even accidentally killing one or two innocents can be explained as carelessness. However, by killing 100 to thousands, these are intentional acts. Do you think you can explain that? Even for a sector lord or undying, the moment they pass the limit, they too would be put to death. Don't think that the family will protect you and allow you to carry on with your ways. Don't think that you are clever enough to avoid the investigation department and thus continue on. You want to simply enjoy life, no problem. The lowest family resource grants can completely allow you to play virtual games till you die. However, these too have a limit. The moment you pass the limit. Luo Feng pointed below at the scene of fresh blood, bodies and lifelessness, the terrifying picture, you'll end up like them. After which, Luo Feng became a beam of light and left, leaving behind the silent members within. They were all shocked. Almost all of them went back to carefully study the family rules, to prevent themselves from ever having to receive such punishments. The scene today had let all of them know that Luo Feng wasn't joking. This news also swiftly spread to the other members, who were dispersed throughout the many starfields and planets, as all of them watched the broadcast of the trial. Including the women, the members exceeded over 1 million, and they were all shocked. Some of them who were doing evil deeds had immediately changed their ways. Qianhua planet. Luo Feng stood on the top floor of a palace, and said solemnly. My father Luo Hongguo, innocent. The virtual universe company requested for 21 to be judged. No matter what, he still had to do it. Even though Luo Feng didn't capture his father or sentence him, he had long made his decision about him. To kill his father. He'd rather go up against the company itself. He would never let his father die. He could never forget that back then, his father was drenched in sweat, thirstily drinking water from a large plastic cup. Close the synchronized broadcast. Luo Feng said softly. Got it. Barbata cheered. The highest point mission is finally over. It's over. Luo Feng nodded gently. Whether it was the completion rate of the 4th level, or how much extra reward they would give him, these were all matters for the upper echelon members to decide. At least, it was all over now. The final 4th level with the most points. The first level was judging 18 executives of the Flame Wind organization. The second level was choosing which to one save. The third was judging the 19 sector lords and 2 undyings in front of the Blood Demon Emperor. The 4th level was judging his own family members, including his father. Testing my character. Seeing how I truly am. Luo Feng thought. Now that the mission is over, I wonder if they can understand who I truly am. Night. The top level of the palace was very cold. Luo Feng stood there silently. Feng. A voice resounded. Luo Feng turned. It was Shushin in a white fur coat. She smiled. What are you thinking about? Are you still thinking about today's trial? You had indeed shocked all the children of the family. Even those in the faraway galaxies and other starfields were all shocked. That's good, they should be afraid. Luo Feng said. Right? Shushin nodded. Shushin. Luo Feng suddenly flipped his hand and produced a simple-looking laser gun. This is. Shushin was shocked. E9 laser gun. Luo Feng smiled and explained. Its storage time is 0.1 seconds, and it can kill normal sector Lord level 9 warriors. This E9 laser gun, combined with the planet security system, the moment any enemy barges into the planet, with the security system triggering the gun, in a short 0.1 seconds, even a sector lord wouldn't be able to rush over. After its preparation is complete, when you are close, just fire it and kill him. This is definitely an ultimate weapon. Shushin nodded. Even within the royal family of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, they didn't have such a weapon. Sector Lord level 9 warriors usually couldn't keep watch over an area for a long time as their lifespans were limited, and this laser gun simply required maintenance, and it could last forever. Even though Luo Feng had Sector Lord level 9 warriors in the family, those were his guards. When Luo Feng reached Sector Lord level, the guards would all leave. At that point, Luo Feng would only be left with one Sector Lord Di Fan. With this E9 laser gun, the family will be much safer. Shushin said excitedly. This space ring is also for you. Luo Feng passed it to his wife. Shushin took it curiously. This is automaton ship. Luo Feng said, the main cannon of this ship is terrifying and is akin to an Undying's attack. Naturally the power is much stronger than the E9 laser gun. However, its range of attack is too huge and storage time is too long, its efficiency cannot compare to the laser gun. However, it's still another ultimate weapon. Shushin nodded. Akin to an Undying's attack, this was definitely a restricted weapon. Of course, you and my parents all stay on Earth, and Earth right now is considered the safest place in the entire Ganwu universe country. Luo Feng smiled. What a joke, that majestic shrine in the solar system, just what level of being was stationed there, Luo Feng couldn't even imagine. And with that one absolute being there, even if other race enemies appear, he could call a large army through God country teleportation. Luo Feng, why do I feel like you are planning something? Shushin said suspiciously. I will be gone for a long time this time. Very long, far longer than any time before. Luo Feng said. Where to? Shushin asked. Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng said. How long? Shushin asked nervously. Not sure, at least 1,000 years. Luo Feng sighed, when I come back next time, I'll be Sector Lord Pinnacle. At least 1,000 years, and in Primal Chaos City. Shushin asked curiously. I know a lot about training matters too, and you are now already recognized by the gold laws. This training didn't even take 500 years, and your training efficiency in Primal Chaos City is much higher too. Why do you need to train for so long? You wouldn't understand. Luo Feng said. Ah. Shushin didn't bother anymore. Anyway, we can meet in the virtual universe network. Luo Feng saw how his wife didn't seem to care much, he couldn't help but laugh. The normal management of the super organization Pinghai Company and the family matters were all taken care of by her, and it was only before him that she acted this way. She normally upheld a sense of power and fear. Luo Feng, there's mail. It must be regarding the highest point mission. Barbata's voice resounded within his mind. Luo Feng sent a thread of consciousness into the virtual universe network. Virtual universe primal region, Luo Feng's villa. Luo Feng sat before his desk and opened his laptop, gently tapping open the mail. You've completed the 4th level of the highest point mission. The members have made their judgment and you've acquired a completion rate of 70%, getting 280,000 points. This is the end of the highest point mission. Luo Feng frowned. Only 70%. During these 4th mission, especially regarding the matter with his father's judgment, he had indeed simply deemed him innocent. However, he still sentenced the rest of the members fairly. Let's see what the comments say. Luo Feng continued reading the mail. Evaluation, you were sent to sentence 21 people this time. However, with regards to your father, you didn't even capture him nor did you interrogate him. You didn't complete the 4th level mission at all. It's obvious in your bones, you heavily respect your father, and didn't wish to sentence him. Even though your father is obviously innocent, he still cannot avoid responsibility. Jailing him for 100 years should be the lightest punishment that should have been carried out, yet you judged him innocent. When it came to public and private matters, you were biased. We only give you 70% completion this time, we hope you will be clearer on business and personal matters next time. After finishing the evaluation, Luo Feng didn't feel any different within. For Luo Feng, who had reached the limit in mental state training, even if Hong or Thunder God had tried to convince him, it would still be hard to move him. It could be seen how stubborn he was, or how strongly he believed in his ways. He closed the mail coldly, opening another new mail. Reward for highest point mission. Luo Feng smiled and looked. If all levels of the mission had a 100% completion rate, he would get 1 million extra points. According to the performance of all 4 levels, We will give you 600,000 extra points. We hope you can use it wisely. Luo Feng was moved within. An extra 600,000 points. At this point, his total points would be 82,000 from the first level, 180,000 from the second, 300,000 from the third, 280,000 from the fourth, and an extra 600,000 for completing all 4 missions for a total of 1.442 million points. It was 72.1% of the total 2 million points he could get. It didn't even hit the marginal 80%. The score was obviously just average. Overall evaluation: even though you massacred over 1 million in the first level, you are still clear enough to spare the innocent. This proves that you are very calm even when you kill. And despite your bloodthirst, you still chose the 10 billion weaker people to save. This shows you pity the weak. The third level showed that you aren't afraid of strength. You'd rather not submit and follow your beliefs in finishing the mission. Bloodthirsty and yet calm, also showing pity for the weak and are unafraid of fear. If only your fourth level had done as well as the first 3, we would have given you an extra 900,000 points as bonus. However, during a similar mission of judging 21 people, only this time it was against your family, your change however shocked us, especially against your father. You didn't even wish to judge him, not even catching him, or putting on a show. It's obvious that your family's influence on you is huge, to a point where you cannot distinguish your personal matters from the rules and law. Humans are social creatures, and should indeed respect their family. However, everything should be done within a certain level of expectation. It's obvious that you have crossed that line in this aspect. You should be more aware of this. The highest point mission is now over. As to how the virtual universe company viewed him from this mission, Luo Feng couldn't be bothered. Excessive in this aspect. I respect my father too much. Luo Feng laughed coldly. What a joke, what a bunch of arrogant idiots. Under his first and second brother's guidance, he had carefully studied ancient books from China, gaining a sense of clarity from them, and many ideologies had resonated with him. Since ancient times, there was a saying in ancient China that of all virtues, filial piety comes first. Filial piety was of the utmost importance. Even with the many changes in dynasties and eras in ancient China, they all uniformly agreed that anyone who were disrespectful or disobedient to their parents should die. There were even punishments, such as flaying or slow deaths for such actions. It was obvious the level of filial piety was respected at a very high level. In contrast, in modern eras, especially during the new eras, not taking care of one's parents and even hitting them had become common. However, without the background of ancient Chinese culture, people didn't think of it as a crime at all. Luo Feng, however, trained in mental states. He had always respected his parents from young. After which, when he found himself through mental state training, he understood more of the ancient history texts. Like during the spring and autumn era, there was an incident of which a son reported his father for stealing a goat. The son, however, was punished instead for not being filial. Qinghua of ancient China was incredibly strict and heavy on its rules. It was, however, more lax on being filial, with the entire country lacking the most basic respect. How could its citizens truly be loyal? How could the country be steady? Hence, both of them had naturally collapsed. There were many stories regarding this in history, but it all showed one thing: filial piety. It was humanity's most basic element. If a person couldn't even do this, and was bad to his parents, then how could he be loyal to anybody else? Especially to a country. For such a person, if he wasn't brainwashed, he was extremely selfish. If he can't even be filial to his parents, then within his heart, there would never truly be anybody he respected other than himself. Extreme selfishness. Of all virtues, filial piety comes first. Even if my father had sinned, I will bear it for him. I will also advise him to change. As for punishment, as a son, I will never do it. Luo Feng thought, separating business and personal matters. Maybe what the virtual universe company needs is one that would perfectly execute its missions, and one that would never disobey their orders. Even if it involved family, their mission importance should still exceed that of even their family. This is probably what they need. A pity. The company's orders are not even worth a fraction of my father's importance. Excessive. I don't think so. Luo Feng thought. The next day. Virtual Universe Company, Black Dragon Mountain 9-Star Bay, Luo Feng sat with his father Luo Hongguo and mother Gong Xinlan. Dad, Mum. Luo Feng poured tea for them. Why have you called us over today? Gong Xinlan looked at their son, smiling. Luo Feng smiled and changed the subject. Dad, Mum, did you two build a Nirvana union in the virtual games? How do you know? Luo Hongguo's eyes gleamed as he heard. He said, that grey snow world is incredibly vast, it makes one go dizzy within. I can ride a flying beast and fly through endless snow worlds. Hee, a million-strong army clashing against each other is just too cool. The word cool was something his father's generation often used. Ha ha. Luo Feng saw his father's excitement and couldn't help but laugh. For his father to live the life of his dreams, he was already very satisfied. Dad, Mum, let me show you something. Luo Feng said. After which he brandished some information with regards to Nirvana Union's people killing others. After getting the data from the information department, with Luo Feng's questioning, he had confirmed that the information was the lowest level of information, and with his position, he could show it to them. What is this? His parents looked on curiously, as they received the file and looked at it. They grew silent for a while. Luo Feng sat there and patiently waited. As they stared at the file, their expressions grew uglier, even to the point where Luo Hongguo slammed the table fiercely. His eyes were gleaming as he cursed, bastards, a bunch of ingrates. I treated them as my life and death brothers. I didn't expect them to use me. Xinlan, when you advised me not to be so trusting before, I thought that all these were simply within the virtual universe, and that we can eat, drink and kill others without any repercussions. How thrilling. I didn't expect. I didn't know. Dad. Luo Feng saw the state his father was in and knew he had taken quite a blow. Luo Hongguo sat down, his eyes pained. Gong Xinlan sat beside him and consoled him. So many people died. Luo Hongguo's voice shook. Dad, you can only be blamed for your poor judgment of character. However, the ones truly responsible for killing are those bastards. Luo Feng said. But they used my position and power. He shook his head. Wrong, in truth, they are using my position. Luo Feng said. If it weren't for me, why would the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and Ganwu Universe country avoid and fear you? Luo Hongguo felt extremely bad within. Luo Feng was very clear that showing them the data would hurt his parents badly. But despite that, he still had to show them that he had to admonish them. Dad, Mum. Luo Feng changed the topic to take their minds off it. I'm about to leave. Leave? The two of them looked at him curiously. Doesn't he leave often? I will be going away for very long this time, at least 1,000 years. Luo Feng emphasized. Hence, it will be quite a while before I can return to Earth, even the virtual universe. I will only come once in a long while. Where are you going? The two asked. Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng replied. He had been there before, hence his parents knew some simple things about it. After the highest point mission was completed, Luo Feng had immediately requested to head to Primal Chaos City. As a core disciple, during universe level, domain lord level and sector lord level, he could enter to train there. Luo Feng's request naturally went through quickly. After which, through God Country teleportation, Dylan sent him straight to the Virtual Universe Company's main headquarters. After which, he took the company's ship along with other Undyings and entered Primal Chaos City. Dylan and the other guards couldn't follow. According to his plan, when he left Primal Chaos City, he would already be Sector Lord Pinnacle. When that happened, he would no longer have a guard team. Meaning, at this time, the guard team had left him for good. The universe was evolving all the time. The Primal Universe, however, was a small universe that was in its early evolution stage. There were many splits and tears in the space with thread-like crystal energies flowing and repairing. Each time it repaired, it would tear open again and repeat for eternity. Primal Chaos City was the only ancient city within this entire universe. Rumble, an oval ship stopped in the air above, its cabin door opened and a large group of human silhouettes flew out. Amongst which, a green-armored Luo Feng was mixed within. He wasn't noticeable at all. 100 people flew out. A black beam of light flew over to greet them. It was a black-robed man with green scales covering his head. This man smiled malevolently. I am the emissary of Primal Chaos City. Most of you aren't here for the first time. Those familiar with the rules of Primal Chaos City can carry on. I believe you know what to do. And for those that are here for the first time, please follow me. 22 silhouettes followed the black-robed man as he led them away. These 22 were those that had gotten in through auctions or other methods and were here for the first time. And the rest of the 100 headed in their own directions, dispersing. Luo Feng gently landed in a spacious pathway. As he looked around, he noticed that the distant balconies had large amounts of warriors sitting cross-legged and training. Sector lords and undyings could be seen everywhere. However, most of them were undyings. As for the energies emanating from them, even the sector lord energies, since these were sector lords training in Primal Chaos City, they were much stronger than the normal sector lords outside. Primal Chaos City, humanity's sacred training ground. Luo Feng exclaimed. Just from the sacred training ground one could see the difference. The Goldhorn race's sacred training ground was simply a piece of land carved out from the world they lived in. Humanity's sacred training ground, however, was a primal universe specially used to hold 52 primal chaos tablets, and the leader of the city was one that far exceeded the power of the doyens in the Goldhorn race. This was humanity, a pinnacle race in the universe. Very good, this a good training place. Luo Feng looked around. I have to choose a good living spot. I'll pick somewhere close to teacher. After a while, Luo Feng picked a quiet spot about 1,000 kilometers away from his teacher's residence. Once he walked near the white entrance door, he gently placed his hand on it and it triggered the system. The color began to change to a dark gray. From then on, Luo Feng was the owner of this residence. Every room within the quarters was spacious. Even though there were rooms within, large amounts of the warriors still sat crossed-legged on the balconies. From today on, I'm going to live here for over 1,000 years. This will be my home. Luo Feng followed the staircase up and quickly reached the balcony. The balcony was close to 100 m wide, much bigger than the field he had in high school. There were random scribbles all around the balcony. These were obviously left behind by the warriors that had trained and stayed here before in history. Luo Feng believed that someday he too would leave behind his own scribbles. He sat crossed-legged, feeling the coldness of the balcony. He looked up at the skies. The primal energies revolved in the sky, tiers stretching across the skies with complex engravings and threads of energies flowing about. The laws were visible and it was calming to one's soul. From today on, I will be here on this balcony for a long time. Luo Feng smiled. After returning to the first floor's living room, the service AI of the place had already prepared a hot pot of tea. He lay on the fur sofa, lifting the cup of hot tea. He gently smelled the fragrant tea and sipped. As he drank it down from his mouth, he felt the warmth spread throughout his body. After which, he began to think at an incredibly fast speed. He loved to sip tea and ponder at the same time. I now have the Beast God statue and the picture of the large sleeping Beast God. Time Space Scribbles 3rd volume, Floating Snow, Nanshan Armaments 36 levels, Illusionary Techniques, Deities of the World, Absolute Space, Ancient Pictures, and Sky-Tearing Claw. I also have over 6 million mixed elements, and over 1 million points. Luo Feng pondered on all his possessions. He clearly planned out his training. Normally, sector lords would all begin to create their own techniques and their own weapons. Luo Feng was prepared to hit sector lord level in Primal Chaos City. Since his law comprehension now was already at a very high level, he could begin to create his own technique. Techniques were mostly separated into study and battle. The study type was basically used to aid in raising one's comprehension of the laws. The higher the comprehension, the stronger the power. The laws were akin to internal strength. The battle techniques, however, were more about the usage of these laws. When learning the same laws, but with different usages, one's strength would definitely be different. Law comprehension was the inner work, the techniques were blade work, etc. Of course, these were just examples. The golden horned beast's technique is the sky-tearing claw. The Mosha clansman uses the illusionary techniques. The earth body uses the Nanshan armament. As it slowly gets more and more ineffective, I will begin to study the Nanshan 36 levels and create a better technique for myself. As for time-space scribbles, the beast god statue and so on, these are all for my comprehension. Even the deities of the world is a strengthening technique. Law comprehension is the absolute. Hence I will spend most of my focus on it. When they reach a bottleneck level, then I will study the battle techniques. Luo Feng thought, that will be the way. After planning out his long-period stay, Luo Feng left his living quarters and headed to his teacher, Truyang Emperor's residence to visit him. The entrance to the residence was wide open. The scanning system on the door scanned Luo Feng and confirmed that he had the right to enter, naturally not stopping him. Luo Feng sneaked into the residence and quickly reached a 10 kilometers wide and long plaza. There, close to 1,000 warriors had gathered and were respectfully sitting and listening. Ahead was a golden armored ape-man sitting crossed-legged, explaining the 9 universe tablets' 4th picture. Teacher. Luo Feng thought within, not daring to disrupt his class, and he sat in the corner. Truyang noticed an additional Luo Feng in the corner as he taught, smiling before he continued on with his class. After a while. Today's class ends here. Truyang said indifferently. Thank you, teacher. The close to 1,000 warriors all bowed respectfully below. Truyang Emperor sure is powerful. I've already comprehended the 5th picture, but hearing him explain the 4th picture still gives me greater insight. Looks like I haven't fully comprehended the 4th picture. Completely comprehending it is really hard. I heard that the 1st of March pictures have a total of 108 wonders, and fully comprehending these 108 wonders is 10 to hundreds of times harder than simply finishing the 4th picture. The warriors all discussed and dispersed from the plaza. Luo Feng, however, walked up to his teacher. Junior. Junior is here. It's been a while since we've seen you. Truyang's 10 disciples there all smiled and waved at Luo Feng. Luo Feng waved back. These seniors of his were mostly official level undyings, and many of them were at official pinnacle. However, it was a pity that none of them had formally reached emperor level yet. Normally, an emperor pinnacle level person can easily ask people to help, and get the official level pinnacles to be named emperors too. Truyang had high expectations of his disciples, hence he never did such a thing. He regarded it as a disgrace. Luo Feng, follow me. Truyang said. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng said respectfully. My seniors, I will formally greet you all later. Luo Feng bid goodbye to them and followed Truyang, arriving in his quiet yard. This yard was a few kilometers wide and long. It was simply a grassland. Truyang sat crossed-legged within casually and said, sit. Luo Feng obediently complied. Have you completed the highest point mission? Truyang smiled. Luo Feng nodded. Tell me about it, including the final evaluation, etc. Truyang said. Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully, the 4th level mission was. He explained in detail about the points he got, evaluation, etc., not hiding any details about it at all. Truyang was displeased as he heard the story. This group of idiots, are they really expecting a son to lock his father up in jail? Will they only be satisfied that way? Luo Feng was stunned. His teacher was scolding them as idiots. If one doesn't even protect his loved ones, then what's the point in training? Truyang glanced at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, stick to your beliefs, don't be poisoned by those punks. Our upper echelon of the virtual universe company has indeed become very rigid. Do they wish for all the warriors to simply be their pawns? The strong are strong, because they are independently strong. And those upper echelon, they only show themselves once in a while. Luo Feng blinked at his teacher. Ha ha, why, are you shocked? Tru Yang laughed, exclaiming, "Your teacher has a bad temper." Back then, I had kicked up such a ruckus that they didn't have any choice but to toss me into Primal Chaos City, not giving me any authority or status. However, as I am hidden here, I don't have to take their orders. Unless it's truly a grave matter, otherwise I don't have to bother with them. Luo Feng laughed. His teacher had once kicked up a ruckus. Regarding his matters, he knew very little. "How long are you prepared to stay in Primal Chaos City this time?" Tru Yang asked. "Until Sector Lord level," Luo Feng said. Are you giving up the other missions?" Tru Yang was shocked. During Domain Lord level, the company would occasionally send missions. Luo Feng had currently only completed 2 of them, one giving him 200,000 points, and the other was the highest point mission, which could at most give him 2 million points. There were others to do still left. However, if he stayed in Primal Chaos City, he naturally couldn't do any more. Luo Feng nodded. This video will end here.